Alright, so today for the YouTube Frogs. I don't have a face cam for this one, but Chat and I were reacting to ESPN's top 100 players list. I already did 100 through 51, but that's not going to be in the YouTube video because it just wasn't that interesting. TLDR, Cade Cunningham's too low and Herb Jones is too low, and we're going to keep naming players that Cade Cunningham is better than. I'm pretty sure this rating is based off projecting for this season, so it's taking into account the progression of young players, which is why you see some weird ones on here. Like Wemby is really high on this list. No face cam today because I'm sort of on vacation from school and I forgot to bring it. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Number 50, LaMelo Ball. That seems fair considering the injuries, I guess, and the fact that he's a loose cannon, but I think he's definitely gonna get, he should be probably higher than this by the end of the season. I would definitely project him to be higher than, but I don't think this is egregious. I would probably definitely put him a couple spots higher though, for sure. Aaron Gordon at 49. I mean, he's pretty versatile, good defender, crazy lob target. I mean, he does a lot of little things pretty well for them, and I guess we'll see what his role looks like now that the Nuggets are missing KCP and they need all their guys to sort of, I guess, step up offensively. Julius Randle at 48 is too high. There's too many good players below him, I think, especially because he's going to have a reduced role in Minnesota, and we have no idea how he's going to look coming off of his injury. He hasn't played in a while. So I would expect him to definitely be lower than these. You're not going to convince me that Julius Randle is going to have a better season than LaMelo Ball this year. That's ridiculous. Evan Mobley at 47. I actually would like him to be a little higher. If we're projecting that he's going to improve any amount, then he's probably better than these guys. Maybe not J-Dub, we'll get to him. He's probably in this tier, closer to Gobert. And if we're projecting that he stays the same, he should probably be lower. So I don't really get this ranking. He's a good he's obviously a very good defender, but he needs to, his offensive game needs to, his offensive game hasn't changed in 3 years. Porzingis at 46 is completely fair, no notes. It's Kristaps Porzingis, he's really good. Same with DeMar DeRozan, I would say. I would actually probably put DeMar below Kristaps because DeMar's style doesn't really convert to winning as easily as KP's does. DeMar doesn't shoot threes, he plays really slowly, and he's going to be introduced into an offense that's really fast. He's also no longer the number one option, so I don't really get it. I would probably put DeMar, here. But, this is not egregious, I guess. J-Dub at 44 I really like. I would actually probably even put him higher. Super versatile, big, physical wing. He can just do it. He just does a ton of stuff really well. Solid playmaker. He's not he doesn't have the most, I would say, visually appealing game. He doesn't really have a bag, but he gets to his spots really effectively. If DeJounte Murray would play more defense this year and maybe hit threes at a higher clip, I think this would actually look pretty good. But his fit in New Orleans is so weird, man. So I would say this is probably a little bit too high. 42 Siakam seems maybe a tiny bit low, considering the Pacers should have nothing but upward momentum going for them. He's really versatile. He scores from all three levels while he defends. Great in transition, too. James Harden at 41, though. I mean, now that he's going to have to carry their offense, I guess this is kind of where he's going to have to be. He's probably going to have to be even better than this if the Clippers want a shot at making the playoffs. But if he can sort of get closer to Houston James Harden than he has been the last few years, I could see this. This is not inconceivable to me, but it seems unlikely that he's going to be this good for the whole season. And then BI at 40, I would say that's about appropriate. He's not better than Siakam. He's not better than J-Dub, probably. But I would say he's probably better than the rest of these guys. Maybe not KP as well. But this is not crazy. He's a very, very, very good mid-range scorer. 39 Derek White seems fair. I mean, he's a really, really useful player. He's he's either the best role player in the NBA or the worst star. His game is so boring, I'm sorry, but he's a good defender, he's a good playmaker, he's a 40% three-point shooter. This is fair for him. He's a winning player. Bridges at 38. I don't think he's going to get a role that reflects this, but, I mean, prime Mikal Bridges, is like one of the best defenders in the NBA. And he's super efficient and he plays every game. So I don't hate this. Maybe it's a little high, but I think it's reasonable. Trae Young at 37. There's the school of thought that like his deficiencies make him like impossible to be a #1 option. But man, I think he's good. I think he could be the #1 option on a title team. I think he's a superstar if you put him in the right situation. It's very hard to get there, but Atlanta has one of those guys. I definitely think he's better than Drew Holiday. I would probably say, by the way, this is where Cade Cunningham would go. Like, probably somewhere around here. I can't, justify putting Cade, like, here, but I think this is definitely a little low for Trae. He averaged, like, 28 and 9 last year. And he's, like, a nightmare for defenses. Now, yes, you can hunt him on the other end, but, like, he's, like, an offensive engine unto himself. He's crazy. And he's, like, a trick shotter. Love this guy. I don't know. Too low. Too low for sure. Drew Holiday at 36 is fair. He's basically just like Derek White, but he has more defense and less three-point shooting. Scotty Barnes at 35 is definitely a little low. He's a really, really good playmaker. I thought for the longest time this guy was just a point guard. His ball handling is not great, so he doesn't really get to his spots really well. But, like, he's so athletic, and he's so big. Like, he's got a lot of similar attributes. Yeah, they mentioned Giannis in the article here. He's got some similar attributes to, like, a smaller Giannis. Above Gobert. I think this is not a crazy Gobert placement. But, like, Gobert is... Obviously, like, mathematically, he's, like, the best defensive player in the NBA. But it's a weird one. Like, is Rudy Gobert actually good? If the answer is yes, then this is probably fair. If you're one of those people that thinks, like, no, Rudy Gobert is actually, like, trash, he's actually, like, detrimental, then he should be at, like, 90. I would say, on average, I would say he should probably be, like, here, maybe. I think this tier is definitely more fair for him. I think this is a little high. Markkanen at 33 is really fair. He's a really electric scorer. He's just a very good scorer. Pretty clutch, too. Chet Holmgren. 32. I mean, this is definitely a bit of a reach. I would say second-year Chet is this good. Like, then the Thunder are really cooking with gas. I mean, he's, like, a super versatile stretched big. We forgot that he can, like, handle the ball. We didn't really see it at all at Gonzaga, and we haven't seen it the last few years. Or not the last few years. We didn't really see it last year, but this guy, like, in high school, insanely versatile ball handler. Jamal Murray at 31 is... Dude, Jamal Murray could end up in, like, the 70s this year, bro. His knees are cooked. He was so bad in the Olympics. I think this is just too high, man. I cannot justify putting him over Trae Young or Scotty Barnes right now. Or Larry Markkanen. I think it's too high. I could see him over Chet, I guess. But man... He's just so injury prone now, bro. Like, he's such a... He's unreliable. That's what he is. And he's gonna probably not play that many games this season. He's probably gonna miss a decent bit of the season. They're probably gonna load manage him a lot. So, too high for Jamal Murray, in my opinion. Karl Towns at 30 is okay. He's, like, the best stretch big in the NBA offensively, arguably. And now he's, like, the third option. Like, I mean, when he's got it on, like, this guy's, like, unstoppable. Like, he was gonna drop 70 on Charlotte if he would just chill out a little bit. Like, he's a ridiculous scorer, but he doesn't... And, like, I think a lot of the things that the Knicks needed, that they had in a guy like Mitchell Robinson, that they had in Hartenstein, like, Cat's not really going to provide those things. But he's going to give them just so much offense that I don't really think it's going to matter. Sabonis at 29 feels a little low. He's one of the best playmaking hubs in the NBA, and he's an amazing rebounder. And then Jimmy at 28 seems maybe a little high. Like, Jimmy is a little bit older. He hasn't been healthy in a little bit. Is he going to be better than Scotty Barnes this year? I don't know. He's going into a contract year, so maybe that'll motivate him to play better. I guess we'll find out. And then Zion at 27. Now, if you think Zion's going to be healthy this year, you should probably put him, like, here, right? If you don't think he's going to play that much, you should probably put him, like, here. I think if we're splitting the difference... This is fair. I think this is actually fair. I mean, he's a wrecking ball, and he's got more talent on his team than ever. I don't think there's a way for the Pelicans to be terrible. I don't think the moves they've made have helped Zion that much. De'Aaron Fox at 26. This seems about right. He's like the best clutch scorer in the NBA. He's ridiculously fast. A bit of, like, he's like a top-tier game manager, right? Not an insane playmaker by any means. Not an insane shooter. But, like, his combination of slashing and rim pressure, plus his mid-range shooting, plus his clutch factor. Like, he's just pretty damn good at everything. And then Kyrie at 25, I think, is more than fair. You could honestly flip-flop these two, and I don't think that would be that crazy. Kyrie's definitely a better shooter. Then Paolo at 24. I actually really like this. I think he's going to take a big jump. I would actually maybe even wager that he would go higher. Damian Lillard at 23 seems about right. Because, like, Milwaukee was such a new situation for him last year, like the first time he's been on a new team, I definitely could see him outperforming his play last year by quite a bit. So I could see him higher than this. But I would say on the whole, it's probably more likely that he's in this tier, which is not bad. Then Kawhi Leonard at 22. Shit, it's looking like he's not going to be playing for a little bit. So until he's back, I mean, we don't really know what shape he's going to be in. Didn't play for Team USA. He's going to be out indefinitely to start the season. Like, his knees are just applesauce. I think this is fair, though. He's obviously insanely talented. Paul George at 21, I think, is fair because he's actually going to be healthy. And he's more fit for, like, a tertiary role. I don't know if Kawhi can still carry a team like he's going to have to this year if he comes back. I think Paul George is in an environment that's, like, perfectly suited for him. So I think this is... Ja at 20 seems mad low. Like, this guy was, like, arguably a top 10 player in the NBA before last season. I think he's going to go right back to doing that. Yes, the Grizzlies do sort of play, like, this high wire act with him. Not only because of, like, the jumping, but, like, he does sort of, like, make risky plays just in general. Like, he's not, like, a game manager in any way. Like, he is, like, a Russell Westbrook. He's, like, a dynamic sort of, like, engine to a team. But I think this is too low, man. He's just so good. Maxey at 19, like, again, like, how is Tyrese Maxey better than John? How can you say Tyrese Maxey's going to be better than John Morant? Tyrese Maxey is so good. But, like, is he really this? Is he better than John Morant? Is he going to be better than, like, Kyrie and De'Aaron Fox this year? I would say he's probably, with Paul George there, he should probably be, like, here. I think this is more fair for Maxey. I'd maybe flip him and Sabonis. Bam Adebayo, 18. I actually don't hate it. Maybe it's a little too high. But he's, like, the best defender, the most versatile defender in the NBA. Legitimately guards 1 through 5 at an elite level. Great passer. Good mid-range shooter. Super athletic. Then Donovan at 17 seems maybe a tad low. Like, he's just a ridiculously dynamic scorer. Like, his moves are so defined. I've seen Donovan Mitchell live, and bro, when this guy, like, crosses over, when he's getting to his spots, he, like, hammers the ball into the court, man. He's so dynamic. Like, he's so polished. He's very polished, I feel. I would say this is maybe a little low overall, though. Then Halliburton at 16, I mean, is, like, the second best playmaker in the NBA, arguably. The hamstring injury really destroyed the season last year, but this guy was, like, legitimately, like, borderline MVP candidate for the first half of last season. He was so good. So I think this is actually fair. Then Booker at 15. His playmaking has improved. He's one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA. I don't know if he's better than Donovan Mitchell. And I don't know if Jaylen Brown is better than any of these guys. He just does too much dumb shit, bro. Like, how can Jaylen Brown be the 14th best player in the NBA? And then you have all these guys. When, like, Jaylen Brown, like, does, like, genuinely, like, stupid shit all the time. Like, he's actually stupid sometimes. He's, like, fake smart. I don't know. He's dumb. He's a dumb guy. I think this is too high. I don't think this is too high. But, like, not, like, egregious. I would probably put him, like, here. Like this tier. Like 19, I think is fair. AD at 13? Are there 12 players better than AD? That's crazy. AD should probably be better than this year. I mean, he's a Goliath, and he's, like, the best defender in the NBA when he turns it on, and JJ Redick is gonna try to win him MVP. So I'm actually predicting Anthony Davis is going to get like to like 7 or 6 even. I think this is too low for him for sure. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. But Brunson at 12 is too low in my opinion. I think he's a top 10 player in the NBA. You look at a guy like Luka or Shea, like they're a point guard, they're a shooting guard, they're a small forward. They're like just a big guard, right? Jalen Brunson is a point guard. And I think the only player who only fits that label better than him is maybe Steph Curry. He takes the defense and makes it look like a fucking, like one of those like ninja laser mazes that they always put in like Spy Kids or whatever. And then Wemby at 11. Is Victor Wembanyama already this good? I don't think so. He's a bad three-point shooter, bro. Like, he's actually a bad three-point shooter. But he is, like, the best defender in the NBA already, arguably. It's a fun ranking. It's definitely, like, a rage bait ranking, I would say. I would definitely put him lower. But I don't think that's, like, a hot take. I think most people would maybe put him a little lower than this. But he's definitely going to be a top 20 player in the NBA. Like, if he doesn't make an all-NBA team, I'd be very surprised. So, chat, the top 10 is not loading. Yeah, so it's not loading. And that's really going to be it for today. I guess if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're really running out of time for that. But, like, hopefully, maybe if a couple of my videos pop off, if I can get more content out, then we can do that. I'll catch you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one.